welcome to the Man United show. We are live, and we have Nathan Ellington in the house. How you doing, Nathan?
All good, thanks. All good.
Good. We've also joined by Garth. How you doing, Garth?
Yeah, can't grumble, mate. Can't grumble.
All right. I'm going to take those as positive words then. Yeah? He can't grumble. For me, listening to Man United fans right now, that is a definite positive.
Well, I haven't seen him play in 4 days, have I?
From here, surely.
Right. Non-positive, but anyway, I'm all good. I just wait until next season at the minute. So yeah,
is that where you're at? You're just gonna wait till next season?
Yeah. I don't even know we're playing tomorrow. I don't even know.
No, big game tomorrow against Chelsea. We will be talking about that. But first and foremost, we have to talk about the main stories that are going on at the moment. And the one that is doing the rounds, and it has been for the last few days, is Ralf Rangnick is put together a dossier. And he's told the United board that some players are not fit for purpose. In fact, he said that he believes Wan-Bissaka, who was a 50 million signing in 2019, Eric Bailly, Phil Jones, Victor Lindelof, and Anthony Martial are not at the level required. Nathan, we'll go to you first. Look, a clear name from any of the regulars that are in here, Eric Bailly, yeah? You're a big fan of him, but we've now seen 2 managers in recent years, he's not having any of it, that have said he is not. Look, they use the words "he's not fit for purpose," which is what what's his name says all the time on Talk Sport. So that one hit hard when I saw that. Not fit for purpose, and not at the required level. Eric Bailly, Phil Jones, Lindelof, Martial, and Aaron Wan-Bissaka. What's your thoughts on that? And should more be added to the list?
Definitely more should be added to the list. That's number one. I'm surprised a little bit that Bailly's in there is not fit for purpose at all. Like, if Maguire's fit for purpose, I don't get how Maguire is called. I mean, how Bailly's called not fit for purpose. Lindelof as well, but then Maguire isn't. It doesn't make sense to me. But I guess he's a different type of player, and he is one of those rash players. He probably ain't as good on the ball, as cultured, as looking good. So then, obviously, he's one of them players that he's gonna stop you at all costs, but he's not gonna look good doing it. And I guess that's probably why. Martial, I'd like to see him on the left in that formation with that kind of football. I wouldn't mind seeing him. I think he's better on the left than a Rashford on the left, to be honest. In terms of running on the ball, dribbling it, for sure he's better at dribbling and coming in off that left. But again, he's had enough chances. Rashford's had a long time chances now. But there's definitely other players that should be on that list. Many, to be fair. I don't think Dalot's at the required level. I don't think... The crazy thing is, bad as it sounds, I don't think McTominay's at the required level for the first team. I think he could be a good squad player because he's got all the ingredients in terms of the he knows what it means to be a red. He knows that, and I like the steeliness about him. But obviously, like the quality that we need to get to them high levels, I don't think he's of that standard, but he's definitely worth playing. Freddie's come on better now in that attacking midfield, so where I thought, you know what, if he's in centre midfield and it's defensive, we definitely need to get him out and replace him. But he's looked all right in attacking midfield. He's set up quite a bit and he scored a bit. So I'm like, you know what? Maybe you were right, Fred, coming in saying, I'm not a defensive midfielder. I'm an attacking midfielder. So I'm not going to say he should be on the list. I don't think he should. But then when you start looking forward, what else have we got? Cavani's too old. Rashford, Ronaldo's, he's at the end. So we're going to need someone else in. Jones for sure. To be fair, you know what? Sancho's the only one I could really go straight away. No chance of he going anywhere. Everyone else is up for grabs. Even like Donny. The Donny situation, I want to see how he can do under his own manager. Like I was saying before, I'm excited to see that because I know he's got ability about him. I've seen lots of it in him when he's come on for us. So I like that. I want to see what he can do. And I think he will do it. Yeah, and that's really it. To be fair, let's see what Garth's got to say.
All right, Garth, you heard the statement. The list of players, Wan-Bissaka, we were probably lauding 2 years ago as one of the best right backs in the league. He's fallen off a cliff, and he's not. He's fallen off a cliff. He's just not developed. Bailey, Phil Jones, which is not too much of a surprise. Lindelof and Anthony Martial, that may surprise a few. What was your thoughts on those comments?
Yeah, first of all, remember that Rangnick said when he first come in, he did this as well, and said that Shaw and Maguire weren't fit for purpose in that list as well at that time. That's obviously changed now. Yeah, but poor old Wan-Bissaka, he was in both lists, so he obviously is not on the. You know what I mean? I did some reading. There's no way Ten Hag's going to want Wan-Bissaka at right back. The man's got an 82% pass accuracy all season. That is not good enough for Ten Hag with a big fat 0 assists.
Yeah, that's poor.
Like you said, he hasn't developed. The only one on the new list that surprised me was Lindelof. I think Lindelof's a quality squad player. I don't see any reason for us to be selling Lindelof.
On big wages though.
Not really, not compared to some others. No, I don't think he's breaking 130 to be fair. So he's definitely not in the 180 up category.
Yeah, he should stay. To be fair.
Eric Bailly, listen, we've defended him on this show a lot, but then I actually did some reading today. In the 5.5 years he's been at Man United, he has missed 103 games through injury. And that's just injury. That's not recovery time to get back to match fitness. That's not suspensions. You can't build a centre-back partnership with that. I'm sorry, you just can't. And that's probably what the manager's looking at. When he's saying fit for purpose, he probably doesn't mean his ability on the ball, because we all know what he can do. It's the fact that you just cannot trust him to stay fit. And it's unfair. It really is. But when you that's a damning stat. 103 games missed in 5 years, 5.5 years. That's there. You just can't accept that as a top Premier League footballer.
It's got to be counted as part of an attribute, like keeping fit. That's an attribute. It's like running fast. Like they're all attributes. Like and if you can last 38, 40 games throughout the season, then you got that trust of the manager.
But that's the other. So that's the other thing. It's not like he's been out for a year and a half here, 2 years there. You go through it. It's like 4 games knock, comes back for 2 games, 5 games ankle knock, comes back 4 games, little knee knock. There's a couple of big ones in there. He missed 1 whole season, so there's 32 of them games. But still, like you can't. Martial, I mean, 8 goals in his last 47 games for Man United. He scored 1 goal for Sevilla in 11 when he's been out there. Hasn't scored a single La Liga goal. Yeah, no, he's done for me. He's done for me as a Man United player. Yeah. I mean, it's
go on, Karen.
No, I was going to say, like, his overall stats, 79 goals in 269 games. Even that ain't spectacular, but it's not horrific. But yeah, his recent form over the last 2 years is just diabolical. So I can see why he's on the list as well.
Nate, what do you think? What do you think they can get more from Martial? Because you seem surprised by that.
Garth?
No, Nathan. I'll come to you in a second, Garth. But what do you think that Ten Hag might be able to get from Martial?
It's the fact that we know what he's got inside of him, and we know that the football that we've been playing is nothing. It's not for him. So I'd like to see when football is for someone, it can transform a player massively. So I've seen it many a time where you're playing totally opposite of what you want and what you need. So for me, I want to see him out on the left. I want to see him get the ball in isolation and do things with other great players running around him. So that's what I'm saying. At the minute, we're not going to get 11 players in. I would like him to stay until we get that player in. Because right now, look what we've got even right now. We've got Sancho on one side and Elanga having to play every game. Elanga's not ready to play every game for Man. He should be getting bled through while someone like Martial is in. And like I said, Rashford's off form. Who else we got up front? We got Cavani going. Ronaldo's going to... So we're going to need to have some strikers, some attacking players. Greenwood's not about. So without him, what have we really got? But like right now, I'm thinking, wow, I even want to see the end. I just want to just see the end of the season right now. Like, who have we actually got to play tomorrow? We got nobody. Absolutely nobody to pick. Everyone's out on loan, or everyone's just going or injured. So, man, we need to see what he can do with them. But with good football, anyone with good football, Rashford with good football, You know, I think it'll just make a massive, massive difference to some of these boys that I know they'll be playing much better.
All right. Garth, what is it you think Ten Hag could potentially get out of Martial, and do you think he should give him a chance?
100%. I agree with Nathan entirely. Even saying what I've just said about he's only scored that many goals in the last 50 games. He's a quality baller at his peak. You know, like when he's on fire, he's quality, and I'd like to see him in a good team, a happy. He feels like a confidence player. It has to be said. You know what I mean? Like, I'd like to see him in a happy environment where the team's doing well, and then see what he does. Like especially with Rashford's downward turn of form now as well, and obviously he who should not be named out of the team permanently. Like, we've got we've got nothing. Ronaldo, there's rumours he's going at the end of the season as well, still out there all over the place. Cavani's gone, Mata's gone, Lingard's gone. We need Martial back. As much as some people wouldn't like to hear that, we need him. What can then Ten Hag get out of him? Ten Hag, from what I understand, plays a very possession-based attacking game. So he would have to play more through the centre, I think. I do think, other than the left. I think, I don't know, because of the way it's played, but yeah, I think Ten Hag's system could see Martial recapture his best form. I really do, and I hope he could as well.
Well, there was a season, and we've both spoken about it before, 2019, 2020, where Martial got 35 goal contributions in 48 games, and that's a serious record for anyone. And 20 of 48 games, 46 were up front as centre forward. He scored 23 goals and got 11 assists. Didn't actually get a goal when he played on the left wing. So there's a player in there. There's definitely a player in there. What I worry about is I recently saw a video of Ten Hag shouting at Noah Lang. Noah Lang's a very, very skillful player, quick. He's got skills for days, like a Brazilian, but he lacks that discipline in his game. Noah Lang got sold 3 months later after that video footage of Ten Hag shouting at him to get back, shouting at him to press at the top, and then Noah Lang arguing back. He was gone out of the team. No, he doesn't. This is what I mean. He doesn't take fools lightly. He's not. This is what I mean. It's like you can't. He's not gonna take any prisoners. So, Nath, do you think Martial can play under that sort of discipline? No.
Even when he's working hard, he don't look like he's working hard. He's one of them kind of players, like a Berber kind of player who don't look like they're running hard. Like, even like you got the Pogbas of this world, they don't look like they're working hard, but they're trying their best. And I think Martial's got more in him to do that if he can force it out of him. But I just can't see it happening. To be fair, the amount of times I've seen him jogging around and not moving, not making runs. But the thing is, again, did he get told a framework? I don't think he's been told a framework. Like, the ball's there, that's there. You're going to do that if that's there. And you're going to do that or that. And if he moves there, you're going there. Like, you've got to just make the run. If you're not doing it, get off. And that's the simple way it is, isn't it? So if he is getting told that, then if he does get told that, then there might be a slight chance. But I'm not holding my breath.
I think the biggest problem, though, is getting him off the books as well. 265 grand a week for a misfiring striker. Who's actually going to buy him? You know what I mean? Like, especially as he has failed to impress in Spain, failed miserably. Like, the Sevilla fans are all over him, aren't they? So I think our plan was he ripped up in Spain and Sevilla were like, here you go, 30 mil. And we were like, yeah, take him. But that hasn't happened. So I think he stays, even though we've said that, even though Rangnick said he shouldn't. I can't see, unless we take a dirty hit, pay half his wages to someone, you know, like we did with Sanchez.
And this is what I wanted to get on about Harry Maguire. You said that Harry Maguire was in that first list. Is there any possibility that Harry Maguire won't be on that second list because they don't want to roast him any more than he has been, and they're ruining your chances of recouping any sort of money by turning around and saying he's not fit for purpose?
Yeah, that could be it. You know, that could only be it because I'm puzzled as to how He's
I'm
been the
baffled.
worst
Honestly, I'm
performing.
baffled.
The most mistakes ever. Now everyone's making memes of every single mistake. So think about it. You can't make you can't make memes without content.
Yeah.
He's made all the content. So the reality is the truth is out there. He isn't playing well and he isn't that good. But you've got to try and get someone interested in him. You can't just say you're not that good, mate. You know, you have been relegated 3 times with 3 different teams. Look, and then now Man United have gone and bought you. No problem.
And they want 40 million for you.
Yeah, is it 4 times or 3 times? I think it might be 4 even.
It might be 4, yeah. It's 3 or 4, definitely.
It was 4. Yeah. Someone said it. Someone reiterated the other day. Someone confirmed it the other day. I think it was Sheffield United, Wigan, Hull, and
maybe them again.
Yeah, he went on loan somewhere, didn't he? Got relegated there as well, whichever one that was. But yeah, I think it's 4. I think it's 4. Yeah.
It is 4.
Yeah. Look, I don't see how he can fit in this in the way he's going to want to play as well. Like high up press with 2 sitting defenders and then the fullbacks pushing on. That means that it's just inviting anybody to run at you. Anybody that is like any player of any kind of fitness levels, any pace levels. Remember, Burnley. Vorgos, I can't remember his name, but he ripped up Maguire, and that's not right. You can't have players like that ripping up your top players when you're in the top 4. You don't. Mm-hmm. This just doesn't happen. It doesn't happen, and it happened too many times. Who else ripped us up? I can't remember. Someone got down the sides and absolutely tore us at Old Trafford. Who was it now? Southampton. The young boy. No one's even heard of him.
Borja from Chelsea. Yeah.
Pieces like you can't have that, mate. You can't have that. That doesn't happen, and that's why I say I just remember something clearly when Arsenal were playing and they were at their best. They had the great defense. They were doing amazing. Then you started getting a few of them kind of weaker defenders, and I was like, I remember seeing certain players getting ragged, and I was like, you see, that doesn't happen with a top defender at any time. And I used to remember seeing that with Arsenal players coming through, and then you get another one, he'll get ragged. And then now we're getting them players who are getting ragged. And I'm like, I'm noticing the type of player it is. And that's why you're just short of that top 4 you have been for, that amount of years. And we're just having the same problem. We're now got these players who just get ragged by like okay players. Not like top of the range players. Okay players are ragging you day in, day out. It can't happen. It can't happen. We need to go get a Pau Torres who absolutely... Or maybe are we saying Pau Torres is that good because he kept our team quiet and I've seen him in them games? Is he really that good in all the other games? I don't know.
No, he is good. He's now a regular in the Spain squad. He's a good player. I had Reyes on last year, and he's a big La Liga fan, massive Barcelona fan. And I asked him if Pau Torres could stand the physicality of the Premier League. He says easy. He wouldn't have any trouble. And he's reading of the game. He's ball playing. He's all very good in the air. He's a very good player. He's a very good player. Yeah, I think if Man United get him, they'd be getting a top defender there, and still young. Rangnick is to submit the handover to Ten Hag, and it's understood the German will not be holding back when he delivers his verdict. In fact, he went on to say that the report claims that Rangnick has called the United players selfish, overinflated, lacking quality, and too powerful. And he claims that some members of the squad have ignored his tactical decisions, which is an absolute disgrace. And to be fair, I think you've mentioned it before, Nathan, because you're saying they just must not be listening, because there is no way the manager wants them to play like this. They're not listening, and clearly it's just the truth.
Yeah, that's real bad. It's real bad to hear that, to be fair. But I also feel like the players are actually not capable. They're not capable of doing what he wants. They're not the profile of player that can do what Rangnick wants or what Ten Hag's going to want. That's why they've got to go. It's just chalk and cheese here. And players, they should be at least trying though. Like certain players, they're so established that they think, listen, this is how I play. You brought me here. I play like this. Don't try and get me playing like that. I can't play like that. That's why I'm not, blah, blah, blah. Should have got someone else if you want them to play like that. And that's probably what he's saying. I have done the same thing where, like I was saying, I was like, when I went to Watford, I was thinking, wow, this is not the football I want to play. I've got to just chase lost balls. And every ball is a lost ball. It's not like no ball is for me. So I'm like, wow, I can't play like this. I'm used to playing intricate football with West Brom, Wigan, making runs and they're finding you. Whereas at Watford, it was put it in there and chase it. I'm like, what? I can't do that. How can I? What? And that's like, I'm never going to. It makes you think really differently. And it's not like I'm not trying. There's no chance there. Why would I chase that down? Like, what's that for?
And they're thinking he's not even chasing the balls anymore.
Yeah. But then
so it don't look good on you.
I changed my mindset. I had a meeting with the psychologist, and I was talking to him. He's like, "Why do you think you're not playing?" Blah blah blah. I was answering my own questions. All of a sudden, I got in the mindset of, right, next game, I'm just gonna run everything down. I'm gonna chase everyone. I'm gonna smash him. I scored within like 20 minutes. There's been a massive shift in Nathan, and I'm like, wow, what was I doing all this time? Making my own mental block for myself. And in reality, it was I think even if it's not my game, I can still try and do it.
So did you adapt in the end? Did you fully adapt?
Yeah, I adapted and started using that approach, but it was towards the end of the season and it came to the playoffs, and then he wanted to play football, which we wanted to do all season. So we got to play playoffs and got beat twice by Hull in the end. But it was a killer, because if he would have allowed us to play football from the start, we would have got used to each other and played much better football and probably wiped the floor with many teams. But it was hard work. But like I said, there's more to it than you see. You know what I mean? So there's a lot more going on behind the scenes that could be happening that we're not really thinking at times. So,
All right, I will ask it because it's just going to burn my mind. Who was in that Watford team that could play?
Joby McAnuff.
Yes.
That is a champ legend.
Champ.
That is a champ legend, McAnuff.
Yes, you know it.
Yeah.
Joby McAnuff. Like 250k, easy. Stacks double figures all the way down.
Yeah, mate. Quality bowler.
Lee Williamson, Gavin Mann. We had Marlon King up front. Darius Henderson. We had Jordan Stewart left back. We had Danny Shitu centre back. We had the other centre back. It's going out of my head. Right back was you know what happens? I lose the names of everybody. I remember
they're ringing you up now like, Nath. Yeah, you was at my wedding, Nath.
You named 8 players, but you forgot me. How's that possible?
Yeah, I named my son after you. Nathan, come down. Come and tell Nathan. He forgot my name.
Doyley, right back. We had Smith. Smith. What's his name? Smith was his first name. Smith was on the right wing. It was really good. Really good players. Like really, really good players. And we just ended up, like I say, we ended up just like playing long ball. Because Danny Shitu was so good in the air, we ended up getting a defender in from Sheffield United. I forget his name now again. But he had the biggest throw. And he just, whenever the ball went out of play, he just threw the ball long all the way into our box. And we had to try and win a flick down and try and score from it, from anywhere on the pitch. So I was like, this is not football. And we were just looking to Danny, going, Danny, come on, please, get us a goal, lad. Everybody's like, Danny, please, because he was so good at winning balls in the air. Any corner, look for Danny. Any free kick, look for Danny. Any throw-in, look for that. It was mad. It was all Danny. And it was nothing.
And he's the centre back, and you're trying to look for a goal. I mean,
yeah. And he had to get up the field
and back.
Get up the field and get back. He's like, I'm knackered. How can I?
Danny's like, I'm not signing a new contract with this team. All right, Garth. Overinflated. I mean, we can guess. You can just look and see. Overinflated. Selfish. I can't understand what he must be talking about there, but that's crazy to be calling your players selfish. And the last one, as we've spoken about previously, ignoring tactical decisions. That plays into the selfish line, doesn't it?
Well, that's what I was going to say. I think when he says selfish, is what he's saying is they're playing for themselves instead of the team. Is what I'm getting from that. Again, we're not in the dressing room, so I don't know, but that's what I'm getting from that. The selfish, overinflated all day. This is what I think more is the problem with these players now is they got to Man United and they thought they'd made it. The Aaron Wan-Bissakas of this world, the Maguires of this world. Because I think I said on the first show I did with you, is Aaron Wan-Bissaka was worrying me because I've seen no improvement in 18 months, and I still, a year later, have seen no improvement from Aaron Wan-Bissaka. You know, like, you're only 24, mate. You've got to be like, is that your peak? Are you not trying to get better, or is this what you think your game is? Like, so that's what I think. I think a lot of these players now thought they made it. They got the Man United, they got them big wages. We made it. You know what I mean? So,
but on Aaron Wan-Bissaka, Garth, like, just you've got Trent coming through. You've got Reece James coming through. You've got so many, like, right back is a position where there's an abundance of top players globally. Yeah, every single one of them top players can cross the ball. Why would you think that your game can be just defending and no crossing, like no assists all season?
Yeah, none. He's only got a few. I think it's 7 total for Man United since he's been here. It might be 8 or something. That might be just be Premier League. It might be others in the Champions League and stuff. But it's one of those. I mean, because at Crystal Palace, and this is no disrespect to Palace, but Palace, he wasn't needed to do that, was there? You know what I mean? We signed him on the basis of his defensive ability, thinking we'd be able to bring that into his game. And this is when you get into who is failing here. The coaches, Wan-Bissaka, the makeup of our team. Like, where's the failure coming from? Because he's a talented young footballer. So I've got no answer for it. Why he's not learned to cross a ball, or again, has he? And now he's in a position where Man United are losing a lot, and he doesn't want to get up there because he's got to get back. And then if someone gets down there and scores, it's his fault, and he's out of the team again. And Dallow's back in. Do you see what I'm like? The confidence, bereft of confidence. I keep coming back to this. It's something went wrong somewhere, and it's sad because I liked Wan-Bissaka when he turned. Like, I still do. I think he's quite, like I say, talented young footballer. I'd keep him as backup, but he definitely hasn't improved, and he definitely can't seem to cross a football.
It's a lot of money for a backup when you could blood a youngster. It's
But what I mean is, what hit do you take on him now? Like, how much is he worth now? No one's giving you 50 mil for Aaron Wan-Bissaka today, are they? You're talking 30, maybe. Like you just said, he's not an England international. He's not getting in front of Trent or Reece James. You've got that Jed Spence coming through that everyone's talking about, like, the under-21s. Who else have they got? Trippier. Like, he's what? 4th at best on the pecking order of England international right backs. At absolute best. I mean, Gareth Southgate was playing Ben White there the other day. So,
yeah, true. Nath, do you think there was any part that Man United have played in Aaron Wan-Bissaka's lack of development? Maybe based on a profile that they had with Gary Neville? I'm just trying to think outside the box. Because he wasn't massively known for his crossing ability. He had David Beckham in front of him.
Yeah, he was still pretty good, though. He was not bad. When he got into positions, he was all right. I just think it comes down to wanting to improve as a player. Like, I looked at my weaknesses. I thought, right, I want to be good at this or that. I went and trained on it. That was before I even became a pro. So I was good at left foot, right foot, heading, everything. That's what I went and done. You know, I wanted to have everything everyone has. But I don't know what the players are doing today in today's game. The youngsters today, they might be going home straight away, like Cristiano alluded to before. You say a lot of players, they just finish training and they go home, and that's them. So they're not really trying to push themselves to be the best they can ever be. They're just basically playing at their best. What have I got? 1 minute?
No, you've got no minutes. It's now.
Yeah.
All right.
I know.
That is all Nathan has time for. Thank you very much for joining us tonight, Nathan. You've left it in good hands with Garth. I'm going to absolutely roast him on everything Man United now.
Yeah. All right, guys. Have a nice day. Have a nice day to the evening. And everybody in the chat, love what you're doing. Love what you're saying. And I'm reading. So I'm going to be replying shortly as well. All right, guys.
All right. Thank you, Nathan. Make sure you carry on in the chat, people. Nathan Ellerton will be joining you in there. It's your time to ask him as many questions as you want. All right? Grill him. Get him in that chat and grill him. That includes you, Connor. Ask him some questions. Get in there. All right. I've got one more question about Ralf Rangnick Ralf Rangnick.
Mhm.
Rangnick is understood to feel that Man United need to sign two high energy midfielders. Plus, and in addition to that, also a playmaker as well. So 3 midfielders he thinks that Man United should bring in. Firstly, before we get onto who and do you think that's right, have Man United seriously got the budget to be bringing in the 3 midfielders that they need, potentially a centre forward that they need, a right back that they need, another centre back if they like. You're talking about 150 war chest, which is not really a war chest. It sounded very much like the 10 players that Ralf Rangnick said that Man United need to bring in.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I've seen rumours about how much we got in the summer, ranging from 20 mil if we don't make the Champions League to 300 mil. Like, so we will see what we get. I'm hoping that the board take this seriously and back in at least 200 mil, to be fair. At least, because that's what we need. This is what I've been saying for a while. Like when we're talking about Declan Rice, we ain't getting Declan Rice because that's 140 mil. We ain't got that. You know, like we can't with everything else we need. With like, exactly what you're saying. In my mind, I mean, he's entirely right. Like we need another AM. We need 2 centre midfielders. We need another striker. We need another winger. We need at least a right back, if not another left back to cover Luke Shaw. And we need 2 centre backs. If he's talking about getting rid of Bailly and Lindelof. So yeah, I mean, you make a bit in the transfer market selling a few players. Obviously, we're recouping a lot in wages this year as well with the freebies that we're losing. A lot. I don't know if that goes to your transfer budget, but it might. You know, I mean, like because that's a lot that we're recouping. But no, we don't have the budget. This is why we've got to bring in the youth. Is what I'm saying. I reckon we get 5 or 6 new players transfers, and then the rest has to come through the youth.
Who do you genuinely see coming from the youth that could make that step to just even be a squad player this season, then potentially grow to be a more involved in the team? Because one thing Fergie did was he made sure he kept these players. He made sure that they got their loans, they came back, they got game time, cup games, and then he made top professionals out of these players, seasoned internationals, players that would go on and have, once they left Man United, still good careers. But when they were at Man United, very decorated players in the end as well.
Yeah. In the youth team at the moment, Hannibal, obviously. I believe that's the next one coming up. I haven't seen much of him this year. James Garner, a lot of people are talking about him, good things about James Garner.
Well, one thing that I saw on Stevie Howson's podcast was Nottingham Forest, before James Garner got there, had like a 0.53 points per game. After he got there, it was something like 1.67 points per game. Yeah, so he's had a massive impact. I think he's got about 6 goals, 4 assists. He's had a really good season for Nottingham Forest. Yeah,
well, there you go then. Yeah, so him. I mean, it's the Welshman coming out at me, but I like Dylan Levett as well. I think he could be a squad player, like not quite Fletcher level, but do you know what I mean? That sort of like because Fletcher in the end became a very key part of our team, but that's all ever. The striker Charlie McNeil, I think he's got to take his step up. I like Charlie Savage as well. I like Charlie Savage a lot. So he's only 17, that kid. So maybe a little too soon for him. Same with Zidane Iqbal, maybe too soon for him at 17. Shora Tire, again, 17, maybe too soon for him. But in the state we're in, these are all of these players I would bring up to first team status next year. Everyone I've just mentioned, to be fair. I would probably keep maybe I can never pronounce it. The Mendy, the centre back, as well. I'd keep him. Fernandez, the left back, definitely bring him up. He looks good as well. But again, I've just named now 8 youth team players. You can't do that really. You can't. You can't. So if we're being serious, Garner, Hannibal, Fernandez, those 3 definitely.
Any place for Williams in the squad?
Yeah, but then again, we're now stunting Fernandez's growth. I would take Williams back because he can play right and left back, and then get rid of. I say get rid of. That's the wrong way to put it. Move on and Aaron Wan-Bissaka or Dalot, and then have him as like the third choice, if you know what I mean. Third choice left back, second choice right back sort of thing. Yeah, I would definitely rather have Fernandes there than Williams, to be fair, from what I've seen, 100%. But again, another good squad player, another one that we should definitely keep for a couple of years to see how he evolves, if you know what I mean, Brandon Williams.
Yeah.
100% for me. But again, I'm saying you can't blame them all at once. Sorry.
And as for the two midfielders, high energy midfielders and a playmaker, are they going to be, do you think they need to be the main signings, or you bring in one main sign of them, you take a gamble with the other two? How do you think Man United should play it?
Well, I'm keeping Fernandes as my main AM centre playmaker. So that one would be a backup player or a youth player for me.
And would it be a different type, or would it be a similar?
No, yeah, 100% a different type. Definitely to keep Fernandes on his toes. You know what I mean? If you're not playing well, like in this system, this is what can play in this system, if you know what I mean. So off the top of my head, though, what's out there at the moment, I couldn't just give you a name that's cheap enough for us to. That's what I was looking at earlier. It's like everyone I'm looking at, it's like, wow, that's a 70 mil signing.
We will do that though. We're going to do like a Man United. We're going to give everyone a budget of like 200 mil, and you can go on transfermarket.com,
a rampage,
and you can just go crazy and build a Man United team. And yeah, everyone in the comments section as well, get involved as well. So hopefully we'll probably do that next week, because I've seen a lot of people doing that 200 million budget. And as you said, 300 million, everyone's creeping up higher and higher and higher. It was 150 last week. It's now 400 mil.
I was going to say we're going to have $500 million, you know what I mean?
We've got £1 billion to spend in the transfer window. Like, what? What? Who pressed the cheat mode? No.
But number one for me is the high energy ball-winning midfielder in centre midfield, because Fred has proven that he can play that box-to-box role for us for another year at least before we worry about getting someone else. But McTominay is the backup. But 100%, my key signing would what I would throw the most money at is definitely that centre midfielder, high energy ball-winning midfielder who can pass as well. But again,
I know exactly who you're talking about. I know exactly who you're a high energy ball-winning midfielder who can pass and also dribble, and maybe he's got a double-barrel surname, De Jong.
Oh yeah. Maybe he's friends with the new manager coming in. Plays in Spain. No one would like. The Spanish giants aren't too happy with him at the moment.
Yeah, he needs to be able to speak Spanish. Yeah.
Frankie De Jong is my number one, 100%. I think at that price as well. I'm hearing rumours at 58 mil for Frankie De Jong, and all day. I'll carry him on my back from Barcelona to Old Trafford if need be. You know what I mean? So for me, that is
like the thing is, what people have to remember is Barcelona is still skint. Like, no matter what they talk about with the Spotify Nou Camp, the fact they called it the Spotify Nou Camp tells you all you need to know about Barcelona's finances.
Yeah.
They ain't got no money. They're losing all their best players because they're asking their players to take wage cuts and like a massive dip in money, and there's a lot of players that aren't willing to do that, and you can understand why, because they're on good money and they're top stars, they're top players. So and they'd get more money elsewhere. So I'd test Barcelona's resolve there 100%.
The only thing I'd say about De Jong is that then for me moves Fred out of that first team, and we should try and get De Jong and like a Camara from Marseille. Yeah,
so use the freebies as well.
Yeah, I would take Camara in a second as well, like for free for the wages as well. He's on like that's $100,000 a week player at best. You know what I mean? That he'll take. Coming to Man United, his stats, the way he plays, everything looks perfect for a Ten Hag system. Perfect. So I'd take Camara and De Jong, keep Fred and McTominay. There's your four centre mids, if that makes sense. And then the next one for me, everyone keeps talking about a winger, but if we get Rashford back on form, and Sancho, everyone seems to have forgotten about Pellistri and Dalot, who we bought.
The Pellistri one, like, you didn't pay small money for Pellistri.
No.
And Dalot is a serious talent. Like, yeah, you're right. Forget about wingers. Forget about wingers.
Everyone wants Anthony. I personally, as great as a player as he isn't on my list of players I'd want immediately at all. So I think striker next. As bad as our centre back situations is, we can't hold Ronaldo at 38 next year if he stays to play week in, week out and save us every week. So yeah, 2 centre mids, striker, and then a centre back, and that is pretty much my 200 mil when we do it. You know, I mean, that's the problem. So because what's a world class centre back putting you back now? 50 absolute minimum, you know, like absolute rock bottom, 50
and
mil.
It depends
so,
as well. Look, it always depends. If the club it will depend what club. It will depend like how much the player's got in his contract. But one thing you can't forget is when Man United or any one of the top 6 of the big boys comes for your player, it's an extra 10, 15, 20 mil on top of the price. Which is why you saw players like Bruno Guimaraes go for 35 million to Newcastle. Yeah, the season before they're asking for 70 million from Arsenal. Like it's a season. Like what the hell's going on? It's crazy. But this is what these clubs do. This is what these clubs do, and it's down to we get to see whether Man United have changed their ways, and they don't just turn around and go, yeah, okay, we'll pay that, and they fight and try and get that price down. But
that's what I'm hoping.
Yeah,
that's the big thing
to
for
go
me.
anything right.
Yeah, but then again, we can't wait a year for these players.
Yeah,
we can't wait a year to haggle them down, and that's the other thing that these clubs are going to know is we need them now. So they're going to be like, oh, right, yeah, that's another 10 mil on top of the 10 mil tax for being Man United. There's another 10 mil tax because we know you need him badly right now. So it ain't going to go far, that 200 mil. In reality, it really ain't. So, and this is what I say when we come back to the youth players, and we've got like, as much as I just said, we can't do them all at once. We've got to blood some, at least a few soon as well. Like this season, in my mind, but that's a different matter.
So you speak about the youth there. With regards to Rangnick, he's been criticised with the way that Man United has been playing, with some of his tactics. Some say he's not done anywhere near as good as what Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is. But do you feel like there's an underlining, maybe not legacy? Legacy is maybe a bit too much of a strong word, but there's an underlining, I can't think of another word, but legacy that Ralf Rangnick may have put in place or set, but you won't really know now, and it'll be something later on down the line.
100%. In my mind, I've seen a lot of vitriol against Ralf Rangnick because of the performances on the pitch. I mean, if it's true what he's saying and they're not implementing his system, well, then that's down to the players entirely. And for me, a lot of it is down to the players, not Rangnick. I think Rangnick's come in and done the job he was meant to do, which is basically have a look at this club with an outsider's perspective and be like, oh, that's wrong, that's wrong, that's wrong. Why are you doing this? What's going on here? Why are these players getting paid this? Why is he like... And that's what he's done, and that's why he's put a lot of people's noses out of joint, fans included. You know what I mean? 100%. Like, plus, he's been hit with injuries. What's he meant to do with this team at the moment? This is what I worry about Ten Hag. Like, yeah, he may be a little out of his depth to be a Premier League manager, but he's coming in as a consultant. Really, he's coming in to see us through. Maybe Ollie could have done better, but it got too toxic at the end. Like, it just like.
Yeah. Look, this guy's come in and he's not minced his words. He's actually gone full throttle, and he's writing dossiers and things are coming out. He's been very honest to the press. He's laid down his marker from the day dot, and it feels like the majority of people will just believe what Ralf Rangnick says now because he's been so honest and straight to the point and straightforward. It's.
He will definitely leave a lasting impression at Old Trafford when he moves upstairs to his consultancy role. 100%. Like, the board need to listen to him. He's coming, like, who else apart from an interim manager can come in and be like, they ain't good enough for this club. They ain't good enough. They ain't good enough. They need to be sold, and then not fester resentment from the players when they're still here next year because we haven't been able to ship them off.
Which I think is what Ollie was meant to do. I think you mentioned it last week. Ollie was meant to come in and do that. However, once you become manager, the role changes now because now you've got to keep people happy as well that aren't playing, and I think that's where some of the overinflated egos have come in. People thinking they're better than they are because he's blowing smoke up their arse and basically making them feel like they are the champions, which it worked. It worked when you beat PSG. It worked when you got second in the league, but that can only go so far. And things did need to change, massively need to change.
There's a lot of people like that are rose-tinted glasses with the Solskjaer era. Now, you know me personally, he's literally my hero. He's one of my favourite ever players for Man United, and I was ecstatic with what he started with. But towards the end, the Ralf Rangnick era is the result of what was happening under Solskjaer. Like, this player power situation, this I'm everyone's best friend. Like, you can't be like that when you're the manager. You can't. And I don't blame Ralf for the situation. I blame the players personally. I really do. Like I say, I think he might be a little out of his depth as a Premier League manager, but if the players are doing their job on the pitch that he's telling them to do, maybe we see different results, you know?
Just it's not really a question, but just Donny says, I enjoyed Man United under Ollie, and he says, I haven't under Ralf has come in. What's your thoughts, Garth?
I can't disagree with that. I didn't enjoy the end of Ollie's tenure at Man United, but the start, like you're talking about, the Paris Saint-Germain, the second place, yeah, it was wonderful at that time. As for when since Ralph's coming in, this is what I'm coming back to. I'm not blaming Rangnick. I'm not. I'm blaming the players. He's come out and said they're not doing what I'm asking them to do. They're selfish. They're now either he's lying, which I don't believe at the moment.
I don't believe.
Yeah. Or he's telling the truth, and this is exactly what's happening. They're not doing what they're told on the pitch. Like their overblown egos have decided that they ain't gonna follow his management, maybe because he's not a big enough manager, he ain't done nothing for him to suggest it. I wanted to say to Nathan, like this, but he answered it for me. They can't do what they're being asked to do. They're professional athletes. They surely they can change. And then Nathan said, I changed my mindset. Adapt or die. Adapt or die, mate. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like
that's what I wanted to ask. I was going to say, what makes you think that Rangnick would think that it's something that the players are choosing not to do against not capable of? Like,
no, exactly. You're coming from. For me, like, listen, I'm not a professional athlete, but I feel like he's asking for simple things, which is effort, running yourself into the ground on the pitch, like this high press, this Gengen press, this trying for every ball, basically like chasing every man down. Now, yeah, maybe they can't do it for 90 minutes to begin with, but you do it for the first half hour at least, and you do what he's asking. You might be 2-0 up, but then you can have your rest. You know what I mean? Then you can see it out to half time, refresh yourself, come back out in the second half, do it again for 20 minutes. You're now 3-0 up. I mean, obviously this is hypothetical, but it feels like they're just not doing it, period. Man United, I can understand what Justin is saying. Like, I haven't enjoyed the game since Ralf coming either, because we are just playing awful football half the time, because like either they can't do it or they're not willing to do what Ralf wants. So,
all right, there's another one. Keep on getting your questions in, statements in, whatever. This is time for Garth's quick Q&A. Beepo Baggins says, why does everyone believe Rangnick after all the controversy at other clubs?
I won't lie, I don't know. Do you know of the controversy he's talking about at other clubs?
No, not really. I think there was a little bit with regards to small-time manager trying to manage international football players. I think that's a bit harsh.
Sorry, can I just come back to that, though? But that's what I mean. These are international footballers. They should be showing respect to the manager. Like, they know better than this. They know much better than this. They are exactly what you're saying. Top professional athletes. They get paid to do a job, and they're not doing it. So, but anyway, sorry.
And on that as well. When we talk about Ralf Rangnick talking about overinflated egos, why would you, as a club, as players, when a manager comes in who, let's not forget, has been lauded by Thomas Tuchel and Jurgen Klopp, why when he comes in, do you not embrace what his practices are? Why would you on the flip side go, who's this? Who's he? He's done nothing. He's not won anything. Why should I listen to him? That's an inflated ego.
Yeah.
That is an overinflated ego. Like any club that I was at, yeah, no matter where the manager came from, we never turned around and went, who's this geezer? We listened to what they had to say. If they didn't make sense from there, then that's cool. Yeah. But we don't, someone come in and go, what's his CV? Oh, who's this mug? Oh, he don't know nothing. How can he tell me what's what? I've done nothing. Like not one Man United player in that squad has done anything to turn around and think that they're any better than any manager that comes in. What's Ten Hag done? He's won the Eredivisie. What? And Man United players have to look at him and they have to humble themselves. That's what they have to do.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. This is the one that always gets to me. Is like, it is a job for them at the end of the day. If I turn up at my place of work and be like, do you know what, mate? No, I can't bother today. What you want? No, I ain't changing that valve. Sorry, mate, ain't happening. I'm gonna just go and sit over in the corner and read my book. You get in the boot immediately.
Or I change it, but I'm like,
yeah, you know.
But you can use electric. You can use electric one. Yeah. No, I'm good.
Yeah,
I'm good.
I might be. It's an old school view. I know it's an old school view. I know player power has become much, much bigger in recent years than it ever was when I first started following Man United in the 90s. You know, I mean, like, as I saw someone talking about Fergie. Obviously, Fergie would have ripped their arms off and sent them to Scotland for a couple of years. But in my mind, you're paid exorbitant wages. If you can't get on board with a man's philosophy, who, as we're saying, Klopp and Tuchel are saying that's their philosophy. That's where they learnt this philosophy from. This is the man. Yeah, this is the forefathers. Great word for it. This is the man who tutored them in this.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly what you're saying here. What are they going to do with Ten Hag then? Like, who do they want? Like, who's out there that you want? Because you ain't getting Klopp, you ain't getting Tuchel, and you ain't getting Guardiola. So, like, we've had Mourinho, that didn't work. You know, and we've had Louis van Gaal. That didn't work. You don't get too many bigger than Louis van Gaal and Mourinho. So,
yeah.
Like, but yeah, it's a madness to me that this has come out. I mean, if Ralph's lying, then that's madness as well. Obviously, that's another madness. But I'm believing he's not. I can't believe he would, because why would he throw away a 2-year consultancy at Man United? You know what I mean?
Yeah, and let's look at everything that's come out since he's joined Man United as manager. There was the stuff that came out about Anthony Martial, which then later on down the line, like, Martial kept very quiet on that, which I believe was Martial admitting without admitting that it was his mistake. It was his way of thinking that led him to believe. What was it that Ralf Rangnick said, that he wasn't mentally ready for the game? Was that one?
Yeah, I believe, because in fairness, Martial did come out the next day with a statement on Instagram, didn't he? But then what come out was what they're calling a misinterpretation because of language differences, which was Ten Hag, Rangnick said to him, well, you play if you want to play then, basically. And Martial was like, well, no, he asked me if I wanted to play or not, so I didn't. Like, it's like, come on, mate, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Madness. Yeah, exactly.
And the Marcus Rashford one, which then Marcus Rashford lost the plot and decided to start tweeting about, which for me is an admission of guilt. Like, all these other ones you haven't said anything on, this one you decide to come out and say something about. Yeah, that'd be funny. What's this one? Professional footballers know a good coach. We are United, and they believe he is not up to. Then the players won't fully be into his game. They didn't give it a chance.
That's what I was about to say. Yeah, you've got to give it
a chance. Look, from day dot, we were hearing noises come out about the training methods and the chasing down and the having to win the ball back in 3 seconds. These are players that don't want to have to run around. These are players that don't want to have to run around. What about Lingard and Martial? I don't trust him. I spoke about the Martial one. What was the Lingard one? Lingard.
Lingard's just. Well, is this what Scholes said the other day about Lingard?
No. The Lingard one when he, I think it was the Lingard one when he said he wasn't mentally fit, was because it was the Newcastle. Because Lingard wanted to go Newcastle in the January transfer window.
That's it. No, I'm back on board with you. Yeah. And that it's this stuff that I'm not mentally fit. Like, I'm like, oh, I wanted to move to Newcastle and you didn't let me. So now, I'm just, my mind's not in the game. Like, no, mate. It's a different era. I can't, personally, as you can tell, I can't handle it. It winds me up. I understand it is the way it is now. You have to take into account whether, like, every aspect of their being is up to scratch to play that game physically and mentally. I do get that, but there was a time where footballers would literally be like broken leg out there still playing, like, and I know that's gone, but I don't blame, like you said, I don't blame Rangnick. There's too much player power at Old Trafford, 100% too much player power at Old Trafford. I'm hearing rumours that it was yourself, someone was telling me the other day that like Maguire didn't want to sit on the bench because he was worried that he was going to lose his captaincy, and like you've got like Lingard saying he can't play, Martial saying he can't play. You've got a split in the dressing room between Ronaldo and Maguire because Ronaldo's coming with too much power. Was it one of the players said that they didn't want to? That was Greenwood, wasn't it? Like not wanting. I had a problem with Ronaldo because Ronaldo was trying to tell him how to play differently, like improve his game. And then there was the rumours of someone at Manchester United is unhappy with Ronaldo trying to tell him how to improve his game. There's overinflated egos, exactly what Ragnick's saying. Selfishness, overinflated egos. Yeah.
Ryan and Beepo, could I ask, what's your thoughts on Ragnick? Eric Ten Hag. Is he a manager that you wanted to bring in? And what if the players don't believe that he's a good enough coach? Is it a case of Man United then go and get rid of Eric Ten Hag, or then do we start looking at the players and the fact that they are not playing for any coach properly that comes in if they're not sort of bowing to their needs?
I've just realised as well, I've misread the Bippo bit. He's saying you don't trust Ralf Rangnick, isn't he? Because he's obviously siding with Martial and Lingard.
Yeah.
I didn't side with Martial or Lingard on them situations. I sided with Ralf. I truly believe that Martial refused to play, no matter what he said. And I truly believe what Ralf said about Lingard was the truth as well. I could be naive here, I could be very naive. But as I come back to, I can't understand why he would just be throwing these lies out there if there's not any truth to it,
Yeah, and look, Bar. There's two players involved in these so-called lies that are clearly not going to be here for a long, and they know they're not going to be here long. One's contract ends at the end of the season, and one's feels like he wanted out for a little while now. So, and he's currently out on loan. So, look, everyone's entitled to their opinion, whether they believe him or not. I just think there's more to it than someone's come in and they don't believe he's a good coach. I just don't. I'm not buying into that because Ralf Rangnick is a good coach. Like, he may not be a great manager, but he is an exceptional coach. Like, if he was an assistant manager or a coach in any team, he would be regarded as one of the best coaches in the world because he is a great coach. Now, the managerial side of stuff, I don't know. It may be a bit iffy. The upstairs director of football, again, he's meant to be one of the best in the game. But yeah, he said very naive because he has lied at every club he has been at. Come on, stop being blinded. You haven't answered my question about Eric Ten Hag. What's your thoughts on Eric Ten Hag? And what if Man United players don't buy into what his process is? Because we've seen Dutch managers in the Premier League previously. They've been in very, very hot and cold. And the young ones haven't really kicked off at all.
And putting aside what we're talking about, Lingard and Martial, maybe Ralf is lying. I said I don't believe it. Maybe he is. I can see on the pitch that the players are not trying to implement what is his very well known style of football. I can see that week in, week out. So even if we agree to disagree on this bit, I cannot get past the fact that there's, without a shadow of doubt in my mind, they are not implementing the style of football that he wants from them on the pitch on a regular basis. 100% in my mind, because we've seen the Gengen press. We know exactly what it looks like. Klopp's been doing it since he's turned up. So, I can't get on board with it being his fault that like this last 6 months has been diabolical for Man United. It's down to the players for me at the moment. It really is. So
yeah, let's not pretend that Man United's form was great under Ollie this season. It was dog. It was awful, and that's why he's not manager anymore, because he was bad. What has Ralf done? You've definitely not answered my question. It doesn't feel like you are going to, so we're going to move on from you anyway. All right, that is all we have time for. Thank you very much for everyone who's joined us in the comment section tonight. Alex, get well soon.
Nathan, get well soon, Alex.
Nathan, big shout out to you. Thanks for coming on. Thanks for joining us tonight, Garth.
Pleasure as always, mate. Thanks for having me.
All right, and thanks for everyone else who's joined us tonight. If you are watching on Twitter, make sure you press that like and subscribe. Come over to KS1 TV and the Man United show next time. Do not be shy. Join in the comment section. They are very lively, very lively. We've got Ryan in there, Bippo, Just Donny, Candy, Connor's in there. Good to see you, Connor. You troll.
Always to see you. Nice to see you, Connor.
Always good to see you, Connor. Sir Alex is in there. Mary's in there. Good to see you, Mary. King Eric's back. Good to see you, King.
Yeah.
And Paul as well. Nice to see you again, Paul. All right, people. What's it? Seems the subject is out there. Oh, seems the subject is out there, Lee. Oh, Tin Hag. How you doing, Tin Hag? Thanks for joining us tonight. Make sure if you are new to the show, press that subscribe button. And if you are a regular, press that like so everyone knows that you're enjoying the show and watching. Peace out, people. Stay safe and wash your hands.